Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Joe O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Fred McCauley and Russell Howard, Frankie Ball, Hugh Dennis and Sean Walsh. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Fred, which category would you like?
World news, please, Dara.
OK, your category is world news. The answer is 1/5. What's the question?
Is this what fraction of the Jackson 5 might miss the Christmas party?
Is it how much of the weekend can Andrew Flintoff remember?
Is it how much of French and Saunders is Saunders?
Is it what proportion of Enid Blyton's The Famous Five can lick their own testicles?
Is it England's only dwarf king was called Henry the what?
How much of a Boris Johnson speech is not, well, I say, gosh?
Is it how does Jamie Oliver pronounce one fish?
Compared to how much you paid, how much is your house worth now?
Is it whether you like it or not, how much happier are you when you've seen a fat person fall over? Never personally found it.
It's about Libya, I think, and it is what proportion of Scotland's tourist income is provided by American tourists?
Very good. Well done, Hugh. Give me a round of applause. This is the news that campaigners have called on Americans to boycott travel to Scotland as well as the buying of Scottish goods in the wake of a decision to release Lockerbie bomber Ali Al-Megrahi. The decision was roundly condemned by Barack Obama and FBI Director Robert Mueller. Scotland is now a rogue state, uncontrolled by Westminster. They've just gone crazy. Fred?
Yes. Well, I have to say, it's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, we've got a huge international incident. On the other hand, we've annoyed the Americans.
They're not going to come on holiday to Scotland. Who had a holiday booked to go to Scotland in September? I wouldn't go to Scotland in September if I was going into hiding. The only person making that trip should be an academic doing a report on the exact moment when depression turns into violence. Americans don't even have passports. All 10% of them have passports. Americans boycotting Scotland is like Wayne Rooney boycotting the Large Hadron Collider.
It's not just, it's the Scottish goods, though. It is a genuine fear that if America... that your sales of whiskey, shortbread and those hats that have hair attached to the hat.
How many haggises are we selling in Jackson, Mississippi? 2, 5?
I will say this, as an Irish person, on the website that says boycott Scotland, they offer as an alternative Ireland, which is kind of... We're not interchangeable, although we have renamed our whiskey Freedom Whiskey.
Like Ireland doesn't have any links to terrorism.
No, exactly.
Not to that terrorism, no.
I'm actually staying in Scotland this month, and I know for a fact that they don't care, because I got a taxi to my flat, and the driver came out to help me with my bags, and some Americans pulled over and said,
"Excuse me, you couldn't give us any advice on how to get to the station, could you?"
And he said, "Hey, get sat nav!"
What I loved about it was the fact that Kenny McCaskill said that the reason why they let him go is because Scotland is a compassionate nation. And you're like, what? The Glasgow kiss is the only kiss that involves the forehead. It's freezing there, they make him wear skirts, and the last terrorist in Scotland was on fire, and Jim Smeaton still tried to beat him up.
They don't make us wear skirts, we choose to do that,
It's not Jim Smeaton. No, not all called Jimmy, he's John.
They've released El-Megrahi. The Scotland have sent him back on compassionate grounds because he's only got 3 months to live. Well, Gordon Brown has only got a year to live politically, so could we not send him back to Scotland?
There was a genuine... Because Al-Megrahi, yes, has 3 months to live, but he's 57, so he was very close to becoming Scotland's oldest man.
The great thing thing about Al McGrahy is he actually sounds Scottish. Big Al McGrahy. He sounds like he played centre-half for Dunfermline or something. Yeah, you get round the full-back, but often Big Al McGrahy was there to clear. The main problem with it, isn't it, as I see, is the British government has done some sort of deal, we reckon. But they clearly said to Libya, look, you can have him back, but don't have a party. Libya's just gone absolutely tonto. And Brown's on the phone to Gaddafi. What are you talking about, Brown? I cancelled the skywriter. I can't cook up. I can't hear you over the noise of the fireworks.
It was even a party in which there were children waving Scottish flags. If you've been released from a Scottish prison, would you want to see Scottish flags when you arrive? Would you not just go, it's a trick, it's a trick?
You're punked.
I'll tell you what would be funny, actually, if it's just a few Scottish football fans and they've forgotten how to get back from Norway. Where are we? All right, lads, he don't look well.
Really thought we would have beaten Libya. It's not like Al McGrahy got off lightly, though. That's what I don't get. You know, he had to spend 9 years in a Scottish prison. If you want to know what a Scottish prison is like, imagine what life is like normally in Scotland. A Scottish prison is exactly the same.
What other transatlantic row has been raging over recent weeks?
It's the NHS.
Yes, now what way is the NHS a transatlantic row? Explain.
Well, Barack Obama is trying to give 46 million people free health insurance, and the Republicans are really angry about this because they think it's evil. That was the exact words. Sarah Palin said, it's evil. Sarah Palin said to his plan of free health insurance for 46 million people, I don't want to see my Down syndrome baby go in front of Obama's death panel. And she can't understand basic English. He didn't say that. I'm not going to do that. You want to kill my baby? No. I'm trying to create an American NHS. You want to call this country Obama land? No, I don't. Here's a ball. Go and bounce it, you moron. You know, it's unbelievable, man.
The horrible thing about the Americans and the NHS is that we have a better life expectancy than Americans. In fact, the only time that British people don't have a greater life expectancy than Americans is when we're on joint military manoeuvres.
My favourite story was apparently an American newspaper wrote that had Stephen Hawking been British, he basically wouldn't be around anymore because, of course, he'd have had to suffer at the hands of the NHS. And you're thinking, what a brilliant, most powerful argument that is, apart from the fact that Stephen Hawking is British and says he owes his life to the NHS.
Yeah, but for many years, Hawking has been using that fake American voice for a while now, and it's basically, it's come back to haunt him now, and so he in very way only has himself to blame.
I would say in defence of the Americans that Hawking only went into an NHS hospital with a splinter.
Surely he should have. We've got the
Different
different settings for different areas. Like
He can't change it now.
Yeah, but it must be a thing where he said up north. Ow, do!
He could have a lady's voice at points, couldn't he?
It's not a sat-nav system that Stephen Hawking had.
He could have Mr. T. Wouldn't that be great?
You know, he's guest voices.
I got a new theory, sucker.
He's sitting at home right now thinking, what would I have had to have done with my life to stop people taking their piss? I worked out what black holes were, and people are sitting there, what if he was a lady?
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie Hugh and Shaw. Now we play a round called Lady Gag Gag. This game involves Fred, Sean, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to have produced the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is politicians. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, Gordon Brown, he's just not very impressive, is he? He does that thing when he's talking where it's sort of, you know, it's with his jaw. You know, at the end of each sentence, like his jaw falls down. It makes him look like he doesn't actually believe anything he's saying. I'm going to win the next election. David Cameron has said he's not smug about winning the next election. Trouble is, David Cameron, he looks pretty smug most of the time, doesn't he? The only time he didn't look smug was, in fact, when he had his bike nicked, and then everybody else around him, they looked smug.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is healthy lifestyles. Who wants to come in on that? Sean.
Yes, I'm very unhealthy, obviously. Look at the state of me. I look like a Thundercat on heroin. This is absolutely true. A couple of weeks ago, a homeless gentleman approaches me from behind, goes, "Excuse you, mate." I turn round, goes, "Oh, nothing." I smoke over 40 a day, right? I now run out of breath when I grate cheese. I got a friend, Dave, he got a Nintendo Wii, and he asked me if I wanted to go around and play. Now, if I'm going to play a computer game, I don't want to get a stitch. Hey, look, it's like the real thing, look. It's like the real thing, yeah? You smashed your vase, you twat. He takes it far too seriously as well. There's a bowling game, yeah? He made me change my shoes.
Thank you very much, Sean. Well done. OK, that leaves us with Fred and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. Next subject is rage.
No wonder that man's boss. He's stuck in a shuttlecock. Everyone's angry, though. I know the kids did really well in their A-levels. How do we respond? A-levels are getting easier. In my day, you have to do 50 questions in a minute. You got one wrong, they killed your dad. You know? All you hear is, this country's gone to the dogs. I'm fed up with this country. It's the worst country in the world. It's enough to drive you mad. Yeah, I bet there's some bloke in some war-torn African village as we speak, just weeping. Why are you crying, mate? Is it because you've got no food, no money, no home? It is none of those things. Some people in England only have their willy bins collected once a fortnight. Is there no God?
OK, Fred, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Next subject is travel. Away you go.
This week, Ryanair, the Irish airline, decided that they were going to carry out their policy and do away completely with check-in desks. Now, I've got many ambitions in life. My main one, though, is to be the barman in the bar where Michael O'Leary from Ryanair goes for a pint on a Friday night, so I can stand there and go, "Hello, Michael. How's the crack? What you after? A pint of lager, certainly. 49 pence. Yes, I know that appears cheap. The glass is going to cost you £2. Will you be wanting a head on it, Michael? What made you think it'd be £3.49? Did you not book your pint online? Thank you. I actually preferred it at the halfway stage with the self-check-in desk, which is bizarre. I remember the first time that happened to me, standing there in front of an empty check-in desk at the airport, asking myself if I've packed this bag myself. I'm a comedian, I went, might have done. I'm not having that kind of behaviour. I called security. I demanded a strip search, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a cracking start to the weekend, I'll tell you. The good news is my prostate's in good shape, and we found a bottle of Bacardi from a previous trip. Good.
Thank you, Fred. OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Fred and Sean. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of England's cricketers at the Oval. But what does EWAF stand for?
Is it England win at football?
Is it everybody wasted a fortnight?
I think it's a description of the English cricket team. English, Welsh, African and Flintoff.
Is it? Hey, what a fluke!
I've been thinking about this long and hard. And it's... a waff.
not. Can we move towards the correct answer?
It's probably...
Embarrassing war in Afghanistan forgotten.
It's what he had for breakfast the other day. It's eggnog, whiskey, absinthe and Foster's.
Is it just 11 weeping Australians? Fantastic!
England wins Ashes finale?
Yes,
Final?
very good. Well done. Yes, the answer I was looking for was England win Ashes finale. This is the news that the England cricket team beat the Australians in the last match of this summer's Ashes series, winning it 2-1.
Woo! First things first, how pathetic is the Ashes trophy? It's hilarious. You can't go, well, and that's it. It's tiny. It looks, it's just... It's,
You know what the best about it?
It's hilarious. It's
Still
like...
has the price tag on the underneath.
But because Strauss is massive and he's holding up this little piece of... He looks like he's holding up Pinocchio's dick.
No, it's not the real one. It's not obviously the real. The real one's in the museum and can't be taken out of the museum because it's not. Yeah, can't go anywhere. So they have to every year just get something from the gift shop. Essentially.
I genuinely thought that the Ashes was a person. Who did you think it was? Just some famous cricket bloke, and he'd done pretty well, and they just went, well, put him in a cup.
When W.G. Grace died, they burnt him, gathered him together, and said, "We'll fight for this every 2 years."
Not only that, but don't call him W.G. Grace. Give him a sort of superhero name of the Ashes.
So what? It's like the end of Indiana Jones. If you open it, does it swirl up and to see reform and go, "Well done," and then swirl back over.
It's a significant victory, because normally you would expect to lose to the Australians at cricket. We generally do lose to the Australians at cricket because they're naturally good at it. I mean, think about what cricket is. You hit something and run. It's the criminal mentality.
I don't know why are they still playing cricket in the same way when I've already come up with the plan to improve it. I don't know if you saw my academic paper on this. No. Day 3, release the Jaguar. England, we're going to bring Graham Onions on, but he's been caught by the Jaguar.
It's true that a lot of people, you know, aren't really into cricket, and you can see why, aren't there? There aren't many games in the entire sporting calendar where you can go after 4 days of playing, who's going to win, and get the reply back, it's too early to tell.
Have you listened to Test Match Special?
Yeah.
Have you heard that? I'd never heard it before, right? So I'll try and get in the Ashes. And it's like, if you've not heard it, it's like your granddad's accidentally switched his phone on in his pocket. He's walking the dog. And because they've got 5 days to fill, there's nothing so boring that one of them will bring up that the other one will move him along. Yeah. They're just into whatever comes... I tell you what I'm going to do, Blowers. I'm going to spell out some of my favourite words. In Flemish.
You're exactly right. Did you hear there was an amazing bit? I was watching a little bit, and Shane Warne just went, "Yeah, Dave," to David Gower, "have you seen Dumb and Dumber?" And he goes, yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, it's not as good as Wedding Crashers.
Did you hear him talk about his lunch? At one point, Shane Warne talked about what he had for lunch, right? So he made a barbecue, and there was some shrimps and a bit of chicken, a bit of salad. He said that, and the guy pressed him for more details. And the guy went, "Anything else?"
It's almost like the cameramen are big fans of Mock the Week because they were back to their old pervy tricks they did in Wimbledon. You see, nothing to do, tatty Bojangles. And it was just so there's posh men all over the country going, "I'd knock that for 6.
That's the thing. If they get a boundary, they do that. It's the weirdest thing of all. They do kind of like a weird like that, like a dodgy Vegas magician.
Well, that's the umpire.
But all the crowd do as well. Is
that for real?
Yes. Yeah. They do that as if they're going to go, "Whoa, my hands are empty," but now a bird. It's the thing in the world.
But when they get someone
That's a
out,
6, a bird.
Is that a bird? Oh my God.
I do that when I walk through a set of automatic doors to make it feel like I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'll tell you what's quite nice.
I know something. You know the Oyster card? You know the Oyster card they use in the underground? There's a little tiny chip in that is what activated, obviously. You can actually open the Oyster card up and take the chip out and stick it into a wand and then walk through and go to tube station just going ding. Oh, brilliant. It's really In other sporting news, how has Usain Bolt hit the headlines?
He won 2 gold medals.
He
didn't
won 3.
He won 3.
From the
I think Usain Bolt is fantastic. Partly because he's just got the perfect name for a sprinter, hasn't he?
It's astonishing.
Well, you just think he should be lane 1 Usain Bolt, lane 2 Tyson Speed, lane 3 Johnny Whoosh, and then lane 4 the Russian Igor Zoumanov.
He's pointlessly fast, though. What's the point of it?
Yeah.
Soon, he won't register on human consciousness. We'll turn up for the Olympics. Is Usain Bolt running in this one? We have no way of knowing.
Like a photon has already passed through our receivers.
The athletics in the Olympics will be commentated on by a bird of prey.
2012, trained at 2012. In the 2016 Olympics, he's actually planning to run in the Large Hadron Collider against a massless particle, which is the only thing that can be faster.
He did 200 metres in 19.19 seconds. It took me 5 minutes to get out of the beanbag that I was watching it in. The most impressive things were like, that is impressive. Oh, God. Oh, no. What I love that celebration.
It's great, isn't it?
Great, man.
It's all to do. He's called Bolt, so he can do that. Whereas if Tyson Gay had won, he'd have very different. What was the big controversy at the championships?
There's a South African 800-metre runner who won the women's 800 metres, who they've now said might be a man.
Now, the interesting thing about it was that on Tuesday it came out that her levels of testosterone were abnormally high. But I'm kind of on her side, to be honest. Her name is Caster Semenya, and she won. And yes, she looks tough, but she just destroyed the rest of the field.
There's nothing they can do about it. It's what we're going to have in the Olympics. We're going to have 1 800 metres for men, 1 800 metres for women, and one race that's just Pete Burns and that wee guy that used to value antiques.
I think she's gone back to take part in a gender test.
Yeah.
Which is basically she goes into a room with Lady Gaga.
I think they actually watch while they both try and put a shelf up.
Properly
Apparently it all
offensive.
started because when they sent her to the toilet to give her test samples, she took a paper under her arm.
You've got to feel sorry for her. The only reason she's being tested is because she's really good at the 800 metres. You know, you're thinking, you know, if you go out on a first date with a woman and then you've both got to run for the bus afterwards and the woman beats you, your immediate first thought isn't, oh, crikey, she must be a bloke.
An incredible thing. Now, the IAF are saying whether you've got male or female genitals is no way of telling if you're male or female. And you think, well, it's good enough for everybody else. It's good enough for religion. It's good enough for the law. Suddenly, it's not good enough for running about. Running about is the area where we have to go into gender philosophy all of a sudden and reclassify our species. So now countries can't ban gay marriages anymore. Oh, you can't marry him. He's another man. I think you'll find that not by IAF standards he's not, because he's shit at running. Oh dear, I do beg your pardon. God bless you, Gordon and Keith.
Give it up round of applause to Russell, Fred and Andy. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so we can all make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see in the performance. Come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't want to hear at work.
Oh, you've already given Michael his dosage.
It's not a photocopier, it's a shredder. And what have you done to your arse?
So, you probably want to know how I got the nickname Dog Botherer.
Imagine that. My first day at work, and I appear to have slipped on a wet floor. I think I might be entitled to compensation.
Do you mind if I leave early? I've got to pick up the kids before their parents get there.
He's the CEO, he's the COO, and I'm head of the agricultural division, the CIEIO.
Now, I want you all to put down those football bits that you've been sewing, because I've heard that it's somebody's very special 11th birthday. And we've got you a photo of a cake. Punch-a-wahoo, chung-wah, punch-a-wahoo.
Don't worry, this isn't the first operation I've done. Last time I got almost the whole way round before the buzzer went off.
We've run out of semi-skim, so I've topped your coffee up with breast milk.
What do you mean it's not your turn to make the coffee? This is fucking Starbucks.
Get off your shit!
Whoops! This air traffic control thing's not as easy as it looks.
I've always wanted to work in a library! If only I could read!
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear on a property programme.
Next, Cash in the Attic. Tennis player Pat Cash has a nervous breakdown and decides to haunt his estranged family.
Today, we help Al Megrahi swap his one-bedroom cell for a Libyan place in the sun.
This couple's grand design is to turn an abattoir into an old folks' home by changing the sign.
I'm Sarah Beanie, and I'm not pregnant.
You can't decide between the two properties? Well, you're an MP. Why don't you claim for them both?
Thing is, I have actually heard that on a property programme in Scotland. And remember, the prices of property can go down as well as plummet.
You know I said those ghastly beams, what on earth are they for? It turns out they were for holding your house up.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen, and I'm so posh I've actually got a swan for a penis.
Michael has always wanted to live in the country, and now he does. His business has collapsed, and he's living in a caravan in a field in Herefordshire.
Even on a collapsing market, you can still make money from a flat like this. We invited 3 different estate agents to come and value it, then harvested their organs.
Welcome to this episode of Holmes Under the Hammer, where we attack Eamon Holmes with a hammer.
Next on Location, 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 Kirsty and Phil finally go at it like dogs.
And obviously this will all be included in the deal. Oh my God, it's back early. Quick, out of garden!
Well, we've visited 5 properties so far, but they've all had alarms, so no joy there.
Very spacious and with wonderful views, but this flat is in Dundee, so it might as well be built out of shit.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Frankie Hugh and Sean. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Sean Walsh. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Fred McCauley and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
We all love it when things go wrong on live TV, don't we? Well, I don't if I'm at work, I have to say. Anyway, next on BBC Two, Clive Anderson sees the funny side of it all.